Hey, how's it going guys? JaySea here. Happy New Year. Welcome to a very new and different video. It's a little bit of a Christmas gift for you guys, so you're in for a treat. I'm going to be reviewing a Silver 3 Tryndamere player, and the whole point of this video is to highlight all the mistakes that he's going to make and the mistakes that he's already made. So we're going to see, in terms of this matchup, Kennen is probably one of the hardest matchups, like maybe second next to Teemo in terms of difficulty in this meta at the moment. So right away I noticed that he's running Ignite, which is very ballsy, and I'll have the relevant information up on the screen. He's also running Lethal Tempo. On the other side you have Kennen, right? And you have to always check his match history because, you know, Kennen can run AD or AP, so you want to check to make sure which one he's running. In this case, he has a history of always running AP, so it's good that our Tryndamere picked up Mirror Shell. The bad thing is he's picking up Lethal Tempo, and he's not going to be able to use that at all in lane, like none, unless he just goes really aggressive. So in order for this Tryndamere to win with Ignite, I'd say that he'll have to spin through 3 minions that are very low health, go onto Kennen and hope for some crits, and Kennen, hopefully he stays and fights and then you win. Otherwise, it's going to be a very hard lane. If Kennen knows how to survive early on, the first couple of levels, then this Tryndamere is screwed and has to just play safe until mid-game. Having Ignite is very risky, but it can pay off, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so lane starts, and right away I noticed that he stood at tower the whole time. He could have been defending blue, but he didn't because, you know, they could actually invade and take blue. So that's very bad that he stood next to tower, that's one thing. This Kennen has Ares, he's going to poke a lot. This guy's hard shoving, which is very risky in itself because if you're hard shoving right away, and say Kennen actually sets up a freeze here, if he's smart, he'll bully Tryndamere and set up a freeze. Or we'll see if he even... I don't think it's going to work. He also cancelled a crit, so that's really rip. Right now you can see that Tryndamere is in a very bad position. His lane is getting pushed in, and now he can't even push it all the way in because he's low. So that's why you don't want to do what he's doing right now. It's already looking really bad. It also opens him up to ganks. If he can take out these 3 minion waves and have this wave crash into tower, that is key. So he needs to have that. Luckily this Kennen isn't pushing fast enough and it's letting him push in. So that's actually good, but it was very iffy, you know. In my opinion, my playstyle would be to go Doran Shield against Kennen just because I won't be going too aggressive. People in higher elo know how to manage the wave, so if I was to go on someone like Kennen, he'll make sure that after he fends me off, he'll be attacking minions really quickly just to get that level 2 and stop me by freezing it over here. And then I'll basically lose lane and lose a lot of CS and, you know, even EXP if he ends up zoning me off. So right now you can see the struggle bus because he wasn't able to actually cheese and get an early kill. This just completely made it so that Ignite's really worthless in this situation just because he didn't get the kill. He didn't get the early cheese, and most of the time it won't work. And also he doesn't have enough sustain because he doesn't have Doran Shield, so you can quickly see the struggle. The good thing is he does have second wind, I believe. The only thing he has going for him right now is second wind. Otherwise he has absolutely no sustain, no regen. He's forced to go back. If Kennen pushes this in fast enough, then he might be able to get it to crash into tower. Tryndamere has no teleport, so he pretty much just lost lane from here. And that's why you want to get teleport and you want to get Doran Shield, is because you outscale Kennen. I really feel that, especially AP Kennen, you can outscale him a lot faster because all you need is Merc Treads, and that's about it. Merc Treads is just a item that you really want to buy against Kennen. Like, you secretly want to buy Merc Treads against Kennen, but because a lot of them run AD, if you were to buy Merc Treads, then you'd be out of luck because you'll take so much damage. So this is a blessing in disguise for us to be facing an AP Kennen. It's a lot easier. But the fact that he didn't go back is also really bad. He could have went back when the wave was back here, but he stayed. So what happens now is Kennen can actually dive him and dive 1-for-1 if the worst case scenario, and Tryndamere will miss all of the CS. So if this Kennen's smart, he could set up a dive with the enemy jungler. But the thing is, this Kennen's silver as well, so he's not going to dive. He's just going to let Tryndamere farm. And that's absolutely shocking because any high elo player would just go for the dive. Like, there, just dive, like E, and then flash in and kill if he had to. Actually, Tryndamere just suicided, so this all would have been prevented if he backed when the minion wave was back here. So now Tryndamere is going to lose a lot of minions, and there's so many things he could have done differently. One of them is not get lethal tempo. It's absolutely garbage against someone like Kennen. You might want to get it, say if you're really confident, if you're really ballsy in lane, you'd want to get that. But the reason why we get fleet footwork is because we really need that sustain. And if you think you don't need that sustain, well, good luck to you, right? It could work. You could get games where you actually just completely stomp, and that's really good. But Against Kennen, I don't think so. He's pretty much the hardest matchup you can face, alongside Teemo. I figured a way to beat Tahm Kench, which is to use that smite build. The skirmishes build is just very oppressive, really strong, and it can beat Tahm Kench. But Kennen, there's no hope. Unless, say, you're versing... Yeah, you're versing an AP Kennen, so it's very winnable if you just get... All you need is Merc Treads, and you need your Bork. That's about it. You can start killing him after that. But before that, if you just play safe and farm up with TP, you're good to go. Especially if you have Doran Shield and you have Fleet Footwork, you have plenty of sustain. So just really quickly, let's see. At this point, right, he wants to push it in, and at the same time, this cannon's level 6. So he went for an all-in, and Lethal Tempo procs, but look how many autos he got off. 2 autos, and those 2 autos would have went off whether he had Lethal Tempo or not. It's absolutely useless keystone. He basically has no keystone at this point. Might as well get Fleet Footwork. There's a good reason for that. If he got 3 autos off, even press the attack would have procced the 3rd hit. He didn't get any of that off. It's just absolutely garbage against ranged champions, I feel. Lethal Tempo is really good against melee matchups that will stand and fight. The moment they start kiting, like say a Riven, Lethal Tempo its uses become really diminished as well. Okay, so the other thing is I noticed that Tryndamere went back and he bought a Doran Shield. The fact that you have 2 Doran's items means that you're going to scale very, very slowly. It's going to be painfully slow. And the fact that he didn't check that Kennen is actually going to AP with Hextech Revolver, he bought a Cloth Armor. It's good because Kennen can actually poke a lot with his autos, but it's bad because he's going for AP. So your Cloth Armor is not going to build into anything at all. So there's so many mistakes just happening like in every point in the game that is going to lead to him having a very bad time in lane. So hopefully you guys are taking all of this in and utilizing it. There's a reason why I play so safe and I play with Fleet Footwork. Or I go for Smite build, I get level 2 really early and I play with Teleport. Because you definitely need it. Like I have Biscuits, I have Teleport, and then I can keep coming back and farming up. And then once I get to mid game with challenging Smite and Merc Treads, I can definitely kill this guy. Especially because his AP is really silly for this cannon to be AP and it's very winnable. If he's AD, it's a lot harder, then you definitely go for Tabbies. But it's still winnable. It's just very, very difficult. And there's a high chance that if he plays well, then you'll never be able to kill Kennen. So this is super lucky. His team's winning. This Victor has 1 kill and so does Lee. So everyone on his team is winning except for him. He also got First Blood Gold. So right now this Tryndamere is in luck. Victor's going to come over and go for a dive. So what this Tryndamere should be doing is going forward, like past this cannon right now. That way he could get the slow off. Like he should know by the on my way pings, he should be in position to get that W off. But the thing is, because he wasn't paying attention, he has to burn his flash just to get that W and ignite off. So that could have easily been saved if he simply was just paying attention and being in position. Then all he had to do was just spin in. And he would have had flash. He might have used ignite though. But yeah, the fact that bot lane's winning feels good. This is one of the few times that you can get away with ignite is if your entire team wins. So this Kennen is silver player. Let him TP in and just kill. Oh, what the heck? That Lee though. Wait, what is he doing? Okay, let's So this Kennen actually teleported and it was a genius. An absolute genius because he knew that they were going to tank the tower even though he... Okay, so rule of thumb is if you take out a tower, make sure you have boots. This guy did not buy boots, he bought a cutlass. But do you know what the cutlass does? Is it slows them. Slows them for a little bit so they can catch up. But how are you going to catch up without boots? You're going to need boots anyway. So this is a very big flaw, and also buying 2 Doran's items, never do that. It's really, 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 really bad. That sets you back 900 gold. And you don't need 2 Doran's items, you just need 1. Okay, so this is what you never want to do is... Look at how many minions he just missed. Because he's chasing mindlessly for a kill that would never happen. Even if they get the kill, it was not worth it. There were so many minions over there. It's absolutely not worth chasing and losing all of that EXP. I know that in lower elo, they're going to ping you and they're going to be like, why did you not respond? Why? And then you just mute them, that's it. And in terms of CS, well, Kennen's still out CSing, but to be fair, you did get quite a bit of help. So right now, Kennen actually has his boots and Zhonya's. There's no way this Tryndamere is going to be able to 1v1. He walks up and he spins in because Victor's here. That's very lucky. Gonna need to ult, but he does absolutely no damage. He even ordered a minion there. Like, I'd say that in this situation, if I was playing it and I knew that I was this far behind against Kennen because I somehow missed a lot of minions there, got picked off by Evelyn, but because I missed so many minions, I was so down on EXP. I was level 8 and Kennen's level 10. So I would make sure that Victor goes in first, and then after that I go in afterwards, and then I try to fight. Because of how behind I am, that's what you have to do. You can't just initiate a fight when, you know, Victor's not even in position yet. That just causes you, that's just like asking to die. So yeah, this Victor's just, I guess, being an absolute monster, and this Kennen's just being, I don't know what he's doing, but he doesn't ward here, and he lets Victor walk all the way around back here. So Victor basically left vision by walking downwards, and you'd think that Kennen would know that he can just simply walk back. Yeah. This is silver, so you guys, there's a lot of things you can do to win. That's why I say that whenever I play in silver, I'm very confident. The reason being is because they make so many mistakes to the point where you don't have to pay attention to win. You could make so many mistakes yourself and still win. So let's say if I was in Tryndamere's position, I'll definitely get Mercs this game. I'll go for my Bork, and right now I'll push this out and get Rift Herald. Then after that, I'll try to look for a lane to just split on the side because I'm super far behind. And right now, he's not taking this. He could take because Kennen just died. So he opted for this instead of, you know, some catch-up EXP. Look at how far behind. He's still level 8. This isn't going to award him any substantial amount of gold or EXP. Another thing he could have taken is Gromp on the way to top lane. So I think he kind of like walked around a little bit and then he decided to go for Rift. So right now, after all those mistakes are made, the only thing left to do is just to defend under tower and not do anything crazy. You have your ultimate and all you have to do is just farm up here. But make sure you don't push out too fast. See, that's unnecessary. You don't need to tank these minions. If Kennen walks up and starts poking you, you can take a lot of damage and potentially can get dove. Especially because there's Evelyn, you know. So Evelyn's actually low and is, I guess, over here as the minimap shows. And Kennen decides to leave top. So I'm guessing that he has to do something really amazing by flanking 2 people that without any team backup. So that's really shocking. And Kennen just suicides. So Kennen could have just stayed top and simply dove Tryndamere, who was playing really aggressively, tanking minions, which Tryndamere should not be doing when he's this far behind. So I think this is like a free game. This is literally like hand-fed on a platter. Just like given to you. Here, take this free win. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Okay, so that was a decent use of Rift Herald where he just literally takes it for free. But that's also because Kennen just simply gave the game away. With all these mistakes that pile in the early game, it really dictates how strong Tryndamere is. So Tryndamere is now level 9. With this much help, and his team winning and getting all the objectives everywhere, Tryndamere has 91 CS at 16 minutes and is 3 levels down with all this help. So you guys can quickly see there's so many mistakes being made, like even from the very first microsecond of the game, just by the decisions of taking those runes, really important as well. Taking the summoner spell, Ignite, that's really important as well. You want to take Ignite if you know what you're doing. And you also, if you take Ignite, I feel like you definitely need fleet footwork. You need that little bit of bonus movement speed and a sustain to be able to catch Kennen. You're not going to need lethal tempo because you're going to get stunned all the time. You're not going to be able to use it at all. He'll be kiting you the whole time, and then whenever you do get to auto him, you get stunned. So there's absolutely no point of getting that keystone. Even press the attack is better, but it's still really bad. Just because you'll probably get 3 hits off and then Kennen's off. Kennen just stuns you and runs away. So right now this Tryndamere is very confused. He like half pushed this and then walked over into river and then walked back here and farmed this. So this top tower might fall. And there's a lot of farm camps on the way that he could have taken one of them on the way, because that's what I normally do to get CS. Is there's so many missed opportunities here. That's why his CS is so low at 17 minutes. Well, given that everyone on both teams has very low CS, and Kennen has 130 CS, that's the highest at 17 minutes, so this is what you can expect in Silver Elo, guys. If you simply farm well, let's say if this Tryndamere farmed well and has been watching my videos very closely and learning every little bit of it, he'll at least have, say, 140 CS, 150 CS, maybe he had a rough laning phase, so he'll have about 140 CS, I'd say, give or take, at 18 minutes, which is still pretty good. That will still be, you know, at even or higher than Kennen. But you guys can see that he went for an Earth Drake and then let this tier 1 tower fall. It's a questionable decision, but I guess he's really far behind. And now because his whole team's really fed, he can go up and pick up some stray kills. But he's still really far behind against Kennen, so he's like 3 levels down. Even though Kennen went over to mid and suicided and did some really questionable plays, still really behind on EXP. Like, if you look at his team, this Tryndamere is level 10, and Annie, the support Annie, is level 10 as well. Okay, so the other thing I noticed is his build right now. He went for Ninja Tabbies, which it should have been Mercs. Even though they have an AP mid, an AP jungler, and an AP top lane, he went for Ninja Tabbies. Okay, so Anivia is AP, also Morgana's AP. There's absolutely no reason to buy Ninja Tabbies. You should buy Merc Treads, especially against Kennen, that's AP. Definitely buy Merc Treads. Even Kennen alone that's AP, just buy Merc Treads. And we see like an incomplete Blade of the Ruined King, and then a Zeal, so I feel like definitely finish Bork if you need to, and that way you can easily 1v1 Kennen. But the problem is, he has Ninja Tabbies, so it's going to be very hard, and he hasn't been, you know, keeping up his macro play, so he's very low in level. Like, after he takes this, I'd say take red and chickens, then after that go for Baron. So let's see what he does. Okay. Greeting for a second inhib is very, very risky. Well, I guess because his team's super ahead, it's okay. It's just that personally, I would have pinged the team back, and then I would have went for objectives and objectives, then come back and close out the game. This inhib is very, very greedy. And also, he's not orb walking. Do you guys see that? When you attack, you want to move. You want to attack and move. Attack and move. Okay, so he didn't ult there. But the thing is, you want to auto attack and then move. You don't want to just right click auto attack and just let your hand go over the keyboard and mouse. That's going to make it so if they take one step away, your character completely stops auto attacking and has to catch up. And then if, you know, enemy moves again, then you're not going to auto attack anymore. You have some gap in between you and the enemy champion. So make sure you orb walk, guys. That's very, very crucial if you're playing Tryndamere. And okay, so for those of you who do not know how to orb walk, it's very easy. What you do is, say if you're Tryndamere, right, you right click, and then what I usually do is I A left click. And what A left click does is it makes it so your character attacks the nearest target. And if you're already on top of someone, all you have to do is right click so you walk past them, and then you A left click and you attack the nearest guy. But obviously I'll A and left click on the enemy champion, so even if I misclick onto the ground, I wouldn't just walk at them, I'll actually auto attack something. So that's very important. Is, say if you're someone that orb walks by right clicking on the ground, then right clicking on an enemy champion, but say if you misclick and then you click on the ground, your character won't auto attack at all, they'll just simply walk. So you don't want to do that. So what I do is I right click on the ground and then I press A and then click left click. That's very crucial mechanic for Tryndamere. I don't know if every Tryndamere player does it, but personally I do it and it works really well. Like, it's guaranteed. So I noticed that this red buff is up the whole time, and Tryndamere could have taken this out and could have taken Chicken out ages ago. And also Baron would have been taken out after the first inhib, which this inhib that they greeted for, they all died for, wasn't taken out anyway. So if I was in the game, there's a lot of deaths that would have been prevented, and Baron would have been taken like a few minutes ago. But yeah, after Baron and after this 11k gold lead with like Victor having 10 kills, you guys can see that this game is pretty much over. So the only thing left to show is basically what Tryndamere does and his decision making. So he goes straight into their base with Lee, and then he suicides for an inhib. That's very questionable because I would take an outer tower here instead of just suiciding for an inhib. There's more you know, gold to take. There's more objectives. And this Annie doesn't know what she's doing. She's putting Tibbers here. And this tower has maximum armor because these minions haven't reached this tower. So it's very important to push this tower in first. Like, she didn't even get it. So she still has to do what she originally has to do, which is push this in. So kind of wasted an ult, wasted a lot of time, and kind of risked herself because say if anyone was to walk around here, Annie's dead. It's a free kill. So this is why they're stuck in silver for a reason, because they make these kind of plays. If you notice yourself making these kind of plays, really do stop those. And there's good reasons for why I do everything I do in my videos. A lot of the time I get people commenting saying like, oh, you play you play way too safe, you're absolutely garbage because you could have killed blah blah blah. There's a lot of experience behind what I do. Like, there's a lot of times it's either it's going to be really close, I might die 1 for 1 for it, or I would actually have to get really lucky with crits to actually get the kill, and if I don't get lucky then I'll just simply die for free. So I have to assess the risk, and a lot of the time it's a no, don't do it. Just get objectives, get that macro game going, and you're going to win a lot more games, especially in lower elo. No one knows how to macro, they don't know how to take objectives properly, they don't know how to farm properly. See, this Tryndamere is at 120 CS, 118 CS at 25 minutes, really far behind on what he should be, which should be 250 at this point, because he's absolutely stomping the enemy team, while it's his team stomping the enemy team, so he has free reign over the entire map. I completely disagree with getting Phantom Dancer right now because he needs a wave clear item. That's why his CS is very low and he has no push pressure on the side. He can't really split push efficiently because he has absolutely no wave clear. So at this point in the game, what I would do is I'll try to take this in here, but if they come, I'll back away and drop a ward. Then after that, I'll rotate to bot and push this in, then come back to mid and push as well. So I have 2 lanes pushing, and top will automatically push. But you guys can see that without a wave clear item, he's going to push really slowly, and he's prioritizing jungle camps over this big, massive wave that should be pushing ASAP because mid lane's sieging. And look how slowly he pushes. He got 1 cannon out of that whole wave because Victor had to clear all of it. So definitely get Shiv or Tiamat. Always get one of them in your games. So it's okay that Tryndamere went and got this, but I think Victor should have been with him. The thing is, because Tryndamere took so long to split push, and because of how slow he can wave clear, I guess Victor decided to come down here. So say if you were a Tryndamere that was really on top of his rotations, this would have been pushed in ages ago and Victor would probably have grouped mid instead, and this wouldn't have happened. So now we can see that after taking this bot inhib, Baron's about to spawn in 3 seconds. And what he can do is take a red buff for free and push out top. Then after that, have them push in mid, which they'll naturally do. His team will naturally push in mid. And if top is pushed in and he has red buff and a ward over here, this Baron is a lot easier to take. So all they have to do is sweep this and then just bait out a fight. It's a free win. But because Tryndamere doesn't have a wave clear item, he spent a very long time, you know, somewhere else on the map. He decides to go for a desperation inhib backdoor. Very unnecessary, to be honest. Because what happens is he goes over here and he might take an inhib, and then this wave is still frozen over here. It has no direct impact at all. You know, it doesn't really matter that much, and it puts his life at risk when there could have been free objectives to take and just end the game a lot cleaner. But because of how fed his team is, I guess a lot of it is forgiven. So he misses ult there, sucks, but he could have got Merc Treads and gotten, like, say 4 more levels, being level 18 at this point really easily at 30 minutes. Having maybe 2 more items because, say, you're not full build at 30 minutes because maybe you haven't been doing so well, but if you've been farming well, you would at least have 5 items at this point. So you'd have around 300 CS, especially with a wave clear item. So definitely get that. It's going to improve your chances of winning if you have good CS, and in order to have good CS, like a lot easier, you'll notice that your CS will be a lot higher if you have a wave clear item. Let's just put it at that. And if you're level 18, you probably would have survived that, to be honest. Like, you would have died a lot slower and you would have been able to ult for a lot easier. So now they just died, but they did get 3 inhibs because they're really fed. Now they can take Baron and end the game. But to be honest, if they took Baron in the first place and just warded up the jungle, taken red, this game would have ended ages ago. A very long time ago. Okay, let's see Tryndamere's build right now. It's so late of a second Zeal item that and he also bought a BF sword. To me, it's like he's very confused what to buy. And it's very easy. You just want to buy a wave clear item as soon as possible, which is the Shiv, which he should have bought as a second item if he wants to kill Cannon. But if you're so far behind, say if you got completely stomped in lane, like in this case, he got completely stomped in lane, but he got a lot of help. What he could have done is he could have just ignored finishing the bulk, go straight for Shiv, and then after that go for Essence Reaver. Which is what I'm assuming this BF sword is going to turn into, either Essence Reaver or IH. So that's what I would have done in this game. So he spins straight at Morgana and gets binded. What I would have done is walked around until Morgana basically used her bind, then I'll spin into her. And look, Merc Treads, he got stuck in Q for so long that if he had Merc Treads, this would have been a lot easier. Especially against 4 AP champions, don't build Ninja Tabbies, guys. And especially because your laner is AP as well. But yeah, lucky him. If it was any other regular game, I feel like his chances of winning would be slim to none. But because he has a really good team, GG, well played. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know how I went with this. This is my first time reviewing OP.GG. I feel like I might be a bit harsh, but these words are coming from a place where I have full experience of this. I played this matchup many times, so I know the ins and outs of it. So hopefully you find this insightful. GG, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.